be seated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me first make an announcement that we have to have order in this courtroom. There can be no outbursts, there can be no disruptions. If anyone gets out of order, you'll be taken into custody immediately and removed from the courtroom. With that, has this jury reached a verdict? All right, would you hand the verdict forms to my bailiff?
He already saw it. How many counts of papers is it? 26 count? 30? Oh, that's 36 sheets of paper.
Yeah, that's why I said he got to be on.
Yeah, he knows something's gonna go down.
Verdict seems to be in proper order. This is in the District Court of Oklahoma County, State of Oklahoma, the State of Oklahoma versus Daniel K. Holtzclaw, case number CF 2014-5869. Verdict, count 1, sexual battery. We, the jury and panel, is sworn in the above entitled cause do upon our oaths bind as follows. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery and set punishment of 8 years.
Yes.
Count 2, procuring lewd exhibition. Not guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition. Count 3, perjury in the first degree. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of perjury in the first degree, nor lesser included. Count 4, procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition, and punishment is set at 5 years. Count 5, procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition, and punishment is set at 5 years. Count 6, defendant is not guilty of the crime of stalking. Count 7, defendant is not guilty of the crime of sexual battery. Count 8, defendant is guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy, and punishment is set at 20 years. Count 9, rape in the first degree. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree. Count 10, forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy, and punishment is set at 16 years.
What's more solid? Going in the
Rape
book?
in the first degree. Defendant is guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree, and punishment is set at 30 years. Count 12, forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy. Count 13, sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery, and punishment is set at 8 years. Count 14, sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery, and punishment is set at 8 years. Count 15, procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition, and punishment is set at 5 years. Count 16, forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy, and punishment is set at 16 years. Count 17,
No, they
forcible
gonna
oral
run
sodomy.
the county.
Defendant is not guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy. Count 18, procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition. Count 19, procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition. Count 20, rape in the first degree. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree. Count 21, sexual battery. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of sexual battery. Count 22, sexual battery. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of sexual battery. Count 23, sexual battery. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of sexual battery. Count 24, forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy. Count 25, rape in the second degree by instrumentation. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of rape in the second degree. Count 26, indecent exposure. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of indecent exposure. Count 27, forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy, and punishment is set at 16 years. Count 28, rape in the first degree. Defendant is guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree, and punishment is set at 30 years.
Yes.
God damn.
Count 29, rape in the first degree. Defendant is guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree, and punishment is set at 30 years.
Whoa, 70
Count
years.
30, sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery, and punishment is set at 8 years. Count 31, rape in the second degree by instrumentation. Defendant is guilty of the crime of rape in the second degree, and punishment is set at 12 years.
Damn.
Count 32, rape in the first degree.
He gonna be
Defendant is
smelling
guilty of the
Vaseline
crime
and
of rape
blood.
in the first degree, and punishment is set at 30
Scotty,
years.
I'm gonna need you to filter.
Count 33, sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery. Punishment is set at 8 years. Count 34, sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual
Happy
battery.
birthday
Yeah.
to you.
Count 35, defendant procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of procuring lewd
In
exhibition.
Texas. Some of the stories he was telling me about them dudes in there,
Defendant is
man.
not guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition. Let me ask the jury, is this your verdict, so say you want? Counsel, would you like to examine the verdict forms?
Not say.
No. All right. Mr. Holtzclaw, can your verdicts come forward?
He can take people to jail, but he don't want to go.
Yeah. They need to
Mr.
raise him
Holtzclaw,
right
the jury finds me guilty of the various counts. You will be remanded to the custody of the Oklahoma County Sheriff.
Yes.
For formal sentencing set January 21st, 2016 at 10 o'clock a.m.
Now you can see that it's sealed.
Right, see?
Damn. 30 years and what was
Well, you are
40?
watching it live right here on News 9 right now. They are pulling the jury. But wow, we added it up. 18 guilty verdicts coming down from the jury. And that adds up to 263 years the jury is recommending for that man right there, Daniel Holtzclaw. He has just been sobbing.
Sobbing from the very first guilty announcement, which I'm looking through my notes here. What on the very first count one, sexual battery, he was found guilty, and he started sobbing and almost uncontrollably. Very difficult to watch at times. I imagine there are many, though, who are feeling this man is getting what he deserved. As you saw, that the jurors were particularly harsh in the punishments they meted out for the charges, the guilty pleas, the guilty findings on rape in the first degree, 30 years for each one of those, by my count.
Out of the 36 counts that the jurors had to go through, and that's why it's taken them so long. I mean, you could tell, it just took a while to read through it. Here is a live look
Is that his
at
mama?
the courtroom right now. We'll kind of get a feel
Yeah.
of the reaction
Smiling them off.
as well.
anyone tries to discuss your objection or becomes critical of your service, please report it to me immediately. You'll be remanded in custody of my bailiff. Thank you.
All rise, agree, please.
He abused his position with the law.
Yep.
He used it for fornication.
I'm through. I'm not even supposed to use it for fornication.